If there was one thing everyone knew about you, it was that you were unemployable, not because you lacked skills. You were actually smart, cunning even, but because you had zero patience for authority, an unhealthy love for trouble, and the confidence of a mafia boss's right hand. Being an only child in a wealthy family didn't exactly help either. You had grown up being told you could have anything you wanted. And you did. Fast cars, expensive weapons collections, and enough black leather jackets to look like you were in a biker gang. Your father, a respected businessman, pretended not to notice your side hobbies, but lately his patience was thinning. Your father had officially lost his patience, which, to be fair, was definitely your fault. You are 25, he said, stabbing a finger in your direction from across his massive desk. Still living under my roof, spending my money like you own the city, and doing absolutely nothing with your life. You tilted back in the leather chair, resting your boots on the edge of his expensive Persian rug. Correction, I'm doing plenty. Yesterday I went to brunch, then played poker with Minho and his crew, then he cut you off with a glare sharp enough to cut glass. I am not funding your mafia fantasy lifestyle. You either find a job within a month or you can kiss my will goodbye. You narrowed your eyes. You are threatening to disinherit your only child? Yes, he said without hesitation, and I'll enjoy it. You gasped, dramatically pressing a hand to your heart. You monster. He shoved a folder across the desk. I've made calls. You have interviews lined up. Respectable companies. Wear something appropriate. Speak like an adult, and for once in your life, try not to terrify anyone. You flipped open the folder and skimmed the list. Law firm, accounting firm, marketing agency. Dad, these all sound boring enough to make me fake my own death halfway through the day. They are respectable, he said, enunciating every syllable like he was explaining the concept of hygiene to a raccoon. You smirked. Fine, I'll go, but if I get arrested for boredom, I'm blaming you. Over the next week, you made it your mission to terrify every interviewer you met. You showed up at a law firm wearing ripped jeans and combat boots. At an accounting firm, you leaned back in the chair, asked if they had a bar, and lit a lollipop like it was a cigarette. At one marketing agency, you accidentally mentioned that your family had enough connections to bankrupt them in 24 hours. 2 minutes in, the HR manager was sweating like he had run a marathon. The minute you sat down, you placed your legs on the table, crossing them like you are the owner here. So, my dad's basically friend with your boss's boss's boss. I'm sure you'll find a place for me. The HR rep blinked at you. We still have to go through the interview process. Yeah, you waved dismissively. You do that, I'll just check out the bar situation. You do have one, right? She did not, and you were escorted out before the coffee even arrived. By the time you had sabotaged your fourth interview, your father was simmering like a pot of overboiled pasta. You think you're clever? He asked, folding his arms. You grinned. Oh, I know I am. Min Wyan. You turned to him. What can I do if they don't want to hire me? It's not my fault. He looked at you for a minute, then sighed, knowing it won't be easy. He's the one who spoiled you, and now he's the one paying for that. One more place, he said, sliding a fresh folder toward you. John Enterprises. You are meeting the CEO himself. Oh, fancy. Who is he? You'll find out tomorrow. You raised a brow. Big shot, huh? Fine. Let's see if this guy can handle me. You strutted into the glass and steel skyscraper like you owned it. Black leather jacket, ripped skinny jeans, eyeliner sharp enough to commit crimes. The receptionist flinched slightly. Name? She asked. You popped your gum, your future boss. She didn't laugh, she just buzzed someone and led you to a sleek corner office with a view that screamed money. And that's when you saw him. John Jungkook, perfectly tailored suit, hair swept back, eyes cold and calculating, the kind of man who didn't just walk into a room, he commanded it. You froze for half a second, not because you were intimidated, obviously, but because, okay, fine, he was ridiculously attractive. Sit. He said, not even looking up from the file in his hand. You dropped into the chair, leaning your elbows on his desk. Nice office. Shame it's missing a dartboard. His eyes flicked up, unreadable. Name? You already know my name. You said with a smirk. My father called your father, or your assistant, or your dogs, someone. His jaw tightened. Qualifications? Boldness, fearlessness, charm. Also, I can hotwire a car in 30 seconds. Noted. He replied flatly. Any actual work experience? I run a team. Technically, it's a gang, but same leadership principles, right? He looked at you for a second, but not showing any sign of irritation. What is your strength? I am good at flirting with hot men. You noticed his jaw tightened. You don't seem serious about this interview. He said, writing something on a paper while you chuckle. Oh, you are so right, but I'm definitely serious about you. You look so hot. I'm actually impressed to see a young CEO. I would like to work here only for you. He looked at you and sighed. What is your weakness? Those beautiful eyes of yours. His pen stopped. Do you always waste people's time? You tilted your head. No, I don't. In fact, we shouldn't waste any more time and go on a date. Tell me when you are free, right now, by the afternoon, or a date night. For a second, his eyes flickered, surprise, amusement, but then they iced over again. You're not getting this job. Wow, just like that? No second round? No dinner date? You teased. He looked at you. No, because someone else is getting this position because you are unprofessional and unqualified. You scoffed. Correction. I'm overqualified. Also, tell me a position in which I get to stay very close to you. I would like to interview for that. There is no such position. Now you can leave. Security will show you out. He said without missing a beat. You stood grinning. You're lost, Mr. John. I would have made this place a lot more fun. You thought that was the end of it. You would tell your father you tried, got rejected, and be done, except we are having dinner with someone important tonight. Your father announced over breakfast. You and Mr. Kim have fun. Your father looked at you. You are coming too. You frowned. Why? To meet the family you are going to marry into. You almost spit out your coffee. What? No way, I'm not getting married. It's already agreed, he said. Be on your best behavior. You looked at Mr. Kim, who was silently eating. He's like an uncle to you, and he has been your father's secretary since day one. Oh, I'll be on my best. They'll run screaming by dessert. That was the plan. You weren't nervous, you didn't do nervous. You were prepared to waltz into this dinner, unleash your loudest, wildest, most rebellious self, and watch the other family back out of this arrangement before dessert was even served. And then you saw him. John Jungkook standing near the fireplace in that same tailored suit style, except tonight it was deep navy with a matching pocket square that looked annoyingly perfect. His hair was slightly less strict than it had been during your interview, softer, but those eyes still sharp enough to cut diamonds. You froze for a second, he didn't. His gaze locked on you instantly. And something in his jaw twitched. You couldn't tell if it was irritation or something else. Well, you muttered under your breath, this just got fun. You two know each other? The voice came from a tall, elegant woman walking toward you. Mrs. John, apparently. She had that graceful, confident air of someone who knew exactly how much power her family held. Jungkook's eyes flickered to you briefly before he replied, "We have met briefly." Briefly. He wanted to laugh. He had kicked you out of his office like you were a stray cat. Oh, Mrs. John smiled at you warmly. Clearly curious. Where? You plastered on your sweetest, most fake smile. At his office. He rejected me for a job. Everyone's heads turned toward Jungkook. You could swear you saw his father. Mr. John raised an eyebrow in faint amusement. I had my reasons, Jungkook said calmly, taking a sip of wine. Of course you did, you said with a smirk. Doesn't mean you were right. Mrs. John actually laughed, a genuine, melodic laugh, and guided you toward the dining table. I already like her. Wait, no, that's not how this is supposed to go. You took your seat across from Jungkook, determined to crank up your make them hate me performance. So tell us about yourself, Mrs. John said, serving you a portion of roasted duck. Your father signed you to behave, but you leaned back in your chair. Well, I have a few hobbies: street racing, kickboxing, occasionally running, operations. You let that hang in the air, fully expecting raised eyebrows or concerned looks. Instead, Mr. John's lips curved in something dangerously close to approval. Kickboxing, you say? I used to box when I was younger. Oh no, you muttered under your breath. And street racing? Mrs. John tilted her head. You must have incredible reflexes. They are good enough, you said, trying to sound arrogant. Good enough to beat Jungkook? Mr. John asked. That made you grin any day of the week. For the first time that night, you saw Jungkook's expression actually change, a flicker of challenge sparking in those sharp eyes. Dessert arrived, chocolate souffle with a raspberry drizzle, and you decided to aim directly at Jungkook this time. So, you said, catching his gaze over the table. Did you reject me because you were intimidated? The room went a little quieter. He didn't flinch. No, I rejected you because you clearly had no intention of doing the job. You smirked. Maybe I just wanted to see you again. That earned you a pause, just half a second before he set his fork down. If that's true, you could have just asked for my number. You blinked. The table definitely heard that because Mrs. John's lips twitched into a knowing smile. When the dinner finally ended, you expected at least one John to pull your father aside and say, "She's not right for our son." Instead, Mrs. John hugged you. "You are wonderful. I'm so glad we are doing this." Mr. John shook your head firmly. "Welcome to the family. We'll be honored to have you in our family. You and Jungkook will go well together." Even Jungkook just gave you that unreadable stare, though you swore you caught the faintest smirk at the corner of his mouth. You got into your father's car feeling like you had just lost a battle you didn't even realize you were fighting. Your father glanced at you. "They liked you." "I noticed," you muttered. "I was trying to make them hate me." "Maybe you are more likable than you think." You crossed your arms, staring out the window. Or maybe they're just insane. From the look Jungkook had given you as you left, you had the sinking feeling it might be both. The bass thumped through the speakers, the smell of sweat and leather filling the air. Your boxing club was your safe space. No drama, no bosses, no family expectations, just you, the boys, and the sound of gloves hitting the bag. You were perched on the edge of the ring, gulping down water after a few hard rounds, laughing at one of Minho's ridiculous jokes about how he could totally beat an Olympic champion if given a week of training. That's when your phone buzzed. One glance at the screen and your entire body went still. Jungkook, be ready by 8, date night. You choked on your water and screamed, literally the kind of scream that made every single head in the club whip in your direction. Mino dropped his gloves and rushed over. Whoa, whoa, princess, what happened? Did you win the lottery or did someone threaten to take away your snacks again? You shoved your phone into his face. He's asking me to go on a date. Minho's eyebrows shot up. He, as in the mysterious cold guy you have been telling us about, the one with the insane jawline, your arranged husband? You groaned. Yes, that one. The walking contradiction. The man who can't decide if he wants to melt my heart or freeze it completely. The man I'm surely gonna marry. The rest of the guys were gathering now, grinning like idiots. Oh, our princess got herself a man. One of them teased, you sighed and began explaining. From the interview to the weird tension, the teasing, the fights, and the way Jungkook had been different lately, more attentive, more present. And now, you finished, he's suddenly asking me to get ready for a date like it's the most normal thing. Minho leaned on the ropes, smirking. Well, do you wanna go? Before you could even answer, a deep voice came from behind you. Why wouldn't she? You froze. That voice, you knew that voice. Slowly you turned around and there he was, John Jungkook himself, standing in the middle of the club in a fitted black shirt, his hair slightly messy, eyes locked on you. What the hell? You stammered. How do you even know about this place? The boys' reaction, however, was the real shocker. One by one, they straightened and gave a respectful bow. Your eyes widened. Guys, relax. If you're thinking he's going to be my future husband and giving him respect, let's just. Yes, guys. Jungkook interrupted, smirking. Listen to your princess. You blinked at him. Did you just. Wait, princess? Mino scratched the back of his neck. You really didn't know. Know what? You demanded. That he's the boss? Mino said, motioning toward Jungkook, the one who owns this place, the one you always wanted to meet. He comes every night to practice and play in the private section at the back. You just stood there, mouth open, brain frozen. Excuse me? Jungkook's lips curved into the smuggiest grin you had ever seen. You have been here almost a year, sweetheart. Did you really think I didn't know? Your brain replayed every single time you had been here, training, laughing, venting about him to the boys, swearing he was the last man on earth you would ever give your heart to. And the entire time he had been right here. You know me before the interview? You realized slowly. His smirk deepened. Oh, I knew a lot more than that. I knew you liked to take breaks at the vending machine after exactly 3 rounds. I knew you always cursed under your breath when your gloves didn't fit right. I knew the way you would watch the rain hit the club's windows before getting back to sparring. And I knew. He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a low hum. You would eventually be mine. Minho's jaw dropped. Dude, that's terrifyingly romantic. You shot him a look. Minho, shut up. Turning back to Jungkook, you narrowed your eyes. So all this time, you have just been what? Stalking me? I call it keeping an eye on what's mine. He said simply like it was the most natural thing in the world. Your heart was beating so fast you swore it was trying to escape. And if I said no to this date? He leaned in, his breath warm against your ear. Then I would still be here tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. We have plenty of time till our marriage. You swallowed hard, but the smile was hard to control. You're insane. Only for you. Minho clapped his hands together, grinning like this was his favorite reality show. Alright, princess, go get ready for your romantic mafia date or whatever this is. We'll cover for you. You shook your head, muttering under your breath, I can't believe this is happening. Jungkook offered his hand, and also, this is the closest position only one person can get to be close to me. And congratulations, it was yours from the moment I saw you. You smiled, sliding your hands in his. Well, you are not bad at all, and I'll do my job better than anyone. He said with a wink while he smiled, and just like that, you both walked away hand in hand.